Hello friends and neighbors, welcome to Living Beautifully. Well, it has been a wonderful start to the 2025 growing season. In this video, I'm just going to do a quick recap of the spring garden. We're going to talk about how things went, the successes, the failures, the lessons that I feel like I've learned from this season, varieties that I really liked, and then those that I maybe won't grow again. And then I'm also going to go over some of the things to look forward to for the fall garden and how I'm planning and preparing for that. So I hope you join me. I think that it's so easy to forget what a space used to look like and where it came from when you become used to how it is today. So going back and looking through some of these videos and pictures of how the garden looked in, early March or early April, and to see how it looks today, so full and lush and just thriving. It's really fun to see what a transformation the garden has gone through, and even going to the individual plants and seeing kind of how they started when they were first transplanted and being able to kind of document their growth as they continue to mature is really fun as well. The garden right now is going to be going through actually another phase of transition, because a lot of these plants that I'm showing you, I'm going to be pulling out or already have pulled out, and we'll talk about that a little bit later in the video. But that's just kind of a part of gardening. There are cycles and seasons, and you put a plant in and you care for it as much as you can, and you watch it grow and mature, and then you reap the bounty of the harvest, and then it's time for that plant to go and for something else to take its place. But I think that it's important to take some time to reflect back on those different seasons so that you can try to learn and improve for the future, because I think gardening is a lifelong learning journey. In addition to all of the beauty that the garden had to share, there were some amazing harvests that I was able to benefit from this season. I overwintered some carrots and got a really great carrot harvest. I think that's how I'll grow my carrots from now on. I tried growing them again in the spring, but the taste just wasn't the same. I had a great tomato year. I really tried to lean into trying different varieties of tomatoes this season. I did several different types of slicer tomatoes. I did multiple different types of cherry tomatoes. I really wanted to get a good idea of the flavors and the types of tomatoes that I liked. I have learned that I really like darker tomatoes. I like the umami kind of flavor that a lot of tomatoes that are those colors add. And then also I have discovered that my absolute favorite cherry tomato, by far, no competition, is the honeycomb hybrid tomato. It is so good. It's just bursting with flavor. It tastes like dessert. It still has like strong tomato flavor, but it's just so sweet and juicy, and the plants were prolific as well. So I will definitely be replanting that variety. In addition to, with some of the purple or darker tomatoes that I liked, was Cherokee Purple, the rose, and vintage wine tomatoes. Those are all kind of like purplish or dark pink, and they had really good flavor and texture. For peppers, most of my pepper varieties were either Keystone Giant or Yolo Wonder, and both of those did very well. This year was my best pepper year by far, so I was really excited for that. It was also my best potato year. Last year, I hardly got any harvest from potatoes. This year, I decided to invest in some seed potatoes, and that paid dividends. I had a much better harvest. And then this year was my first year successfully growing onions, and so that was really, really fun. And I've enjoyed being able to use those very often in my cooking. And so that's something that I've enjoyed this year too. I've had harvest of tons and tons of herbs. I've preserved them in butters. I have dehydrated them. I've turned them into powders. I've freeze-dried them. I've done all kinds of things with those herbs, and I've been able to use them in a lot of cooking, and so that's been great. This year I did okay with my summer squash. I have noticed that the gray zucchini did the best as far as harvest, and then also I feel like those plants were a little bit more resistant to the squash vine borer, and so I think that I'll probably plant a few more of those next year. As far as beans, I still don't feel like I found a variety, bush or pole, that I like for fresh eating. The Asian long beans did volunteer near my trellises again this year, and I let them grow, but I don't think I'll do that next year. I don't particularly like the texture, and I feel like they really attract aphids, so I'm still on the lookout for a bean variety that I really enjoy. Overall, I am really pleased with the production that I was able to get out of my garden this year. I was able to bring in a lot of really, really yummy food, and I'm really proud of what I accomplished with the garden this season. And not only have I been proud with the harvest that I've brought in, I'm also proud with what I have done with those harvests. I've been able to utilize so many things from the garden, whether that's pickling or just using in an everyday meal. I've been able to incorporate a lot of the things from the garden in just everyday cooking. We've made some things together. We made some carrot souffle. I ended up making some french fries from the potatoes that are harvested, and we've used those in lots of different recipes. We made bruschetta together, which was really, really delicious. It was so refreshing, and that's something that I have repeated a couple of times because it was really, really yummy. We also made some shepherd's pie together. That was delicious. It was definitely a labor of love. I don't know if that's something that I'm going to be doing super often, but it was definitely very delicious for a special treat. So we've gone through some of my wins. Now let's go through some of the lessons that I've learned from this season. One thing that I am learning more and more with each season of gardening is how important timing is. Timing is literally everything. It's the difference between so-so harvest and great success. And I feel like I did a little bit better with this year. But I think that a lot of this just comes with experience and trial and error. Like, even though I did a lot better with timing as far as my spring season, I feel like I can still improve a lot as far as the transition. Like right now, I'm going to be going through a period of time where I'll have a few weeks, if not several weeks, where I'm not really getting much harvest. But I think that if I kind of timed and planned that a little bit better, I could have some plants that are already in that will tolerate the heat and will be able to give me at least some harvest. So that's something that I'm continuing to learn and grow with. Another thing kind of along the same lines is that, different crops have a season for a reason. And so sometimes you can try to fudge those kinds of things with like planting something in the shade, or doing like little tricks to try to make it to where you can either extend the season or kind of grow it a little bit differently than what it likes. I tried this with my carrots and my celery, and I won't be doing that again, because even though I did get a harvest, they just didn't taste as good as they would if they were grown in their proper season. So I think that I'm just going to let things shine when they are supposed to shine. I will also continue to experiment with plant spacing. This year I really squeezed my tomatoes in, and I was concerned that that would increase my risk for disease and possibly decrease my yield, but I did not see either of those things happen. They did eventually succumb to blight and disease, but it wasn't any sooner than they did last year, and my harvest was actually much increased from last year. So I feel like that was a success, and I will probably next year try squeezing in my peppers a little bit more too. I want to do a little bit better, again, kind of going with the timing thing with succession planting, and kind of always having something in the greenhouse, some seedlings that are on deck to put in the garden if something is done or needs to be phased out. I think that's part of the way that I can kind of bridge the gap to where I'm harvesting at least something at all times. And then looking forward, so I'm going to be getting ready for my fall garden. I'm pulling out a lot of my warm season crops, and I'm putting in some more heat-loving crops. So, I pulled my corn, I planted that with cowpeas, I've pulled all the beans from my trellises, and I am replanting that with a different type of Asian long bean and some Thai soldier beans. I've pulled my tomatoes. I'm going to try to do a early maturing bush bean where my tomatoes are. But if I don't get a harvest, I'm fine with that, because I know it's going to be a quick turnaround. I'll just use them kind of like a cover crop. And then I'm going to be getting ready in September, which is right around the corner, to put in all of my fall crops, my broccoli, my cabbage. I'm going to be replanting kale and collards and Brussels sprouts. And so I'm really, really excited for what the rest of the year has to come, and I hope that you will continue to follow along with me on this journey. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and remember guys, you can always cultivate something good in your life and in the lives of those around you. So until next time, take care.